Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. Follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. You can support the show at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. I am also on Cash App and Venmo at The Joey Harris. And patreon.com/babykangaroo media. You get bonus episodes of the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. Tyler and I just covered Supercard of Honor 2024, the Joey Harris Super Show, where I had Tyler and TJ on, and we discussed summer plans, the difference between Maine and North Carolina. I tell a story about a practical joke that went off the wall, and so much more. You get the green room. I did a episode recently with Nan that I released for free on the Patreon feed if you want to go and check that out. The book club baristas and so much more, just $5 a month for hours and hours of extra content. I think I have almost 30 pieces of content on there so far. And if you use the promo code Joey at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first month. So give us a try. And folks, right here at the start, I just wanted to mention yesterday as I record this, they pulled WrestleMania from New Orleans. And now the scuttlebutt is that they're going back to Las Vegas. I'm sure a lot of money changed hands in that deal, but I don't know. Something doesn't set right about that with me. You had a deal in place, an agreement in place with New Orleans, and all of a sudden somebody else offers you more money and you pull out and say, oh, well, New Orleans will get money in the bank and they'll get a WrestleMania down the line. To me, I know it's the wrestling business, concentrating on the business aspect of it, but it just doesn't sit right to me. But I'm not TKO, I'm not WWE, so they're making money. They must be doing something right? But to me, it just doesn't pass the smell test, but that's all right. And then I would just like to send out my best wishes to a quick recovery for Jim Ross, who put out that he was suffering from colon cancer and was going into surgery soon. So my best thoughts and wishes out to him for a speedy and full recovery. As today we look at No Mercy 2001 from the WWF. No Mercy 2001 was shown on pay-per-view on October the 21st, 2001 from the Savage Center in St. Louis, Missouri. There were 15,647 in attendance, and the show did 325,000 pay-per-view buys. We get our WWF and No Mercy intros. Jim Ross welcomes us to No Mercy. He and Paul Heyman will announce the event. WCW World Tag Team Championship match. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff with Lita versus Lance Storm and the Hurricane with Ivory and Mighty Molly. Jeff and Hurricane start. They trade moves. Matt tagged in and got a 2 count. Storm tagged in and he and Hurricane hit a neck breaker for a 2 count. All 4 men in now. Storm and Jeff fight to the outside. Matt hits Storm with a baseball slide. Hurricane hits the Hardys with a flying crossbody. Storm hits Jeff with a dropkick for a 2 count. Hurricane tagged in and also got a 2 count. Hurricane chokes Jeff on the second rope. Matt tagged in against Hurricane. Some close counts. Jeff hits Poetry in Motion on Storm. Hurricane gets a close 2 count on Matt. Matt comes back with a leg drop for a 2 count. Molly comes in and Lita takes her out. But Ivory attacks Lita and throws her out. Jeff attacks Ivory. Matt hits the Twist of Fate on Hurricane and Jeff hits the Swanton and the Hardys get the pin. RVD is shown arriving in the back. William Regal asks him if he is going to apologize to Steve Austin for frog splashing him on SmackDown. Van Dam says he only looks after RVD. Vince McMahon is shown getting out of a limo. He tells Michael Cole that he is here to make an impact. Test versus Kane. Test attacks Kane right away. Kane with a corner whip and a clothesline. Kane hits a power slam for a 2 count. Back and forth. Kane dumps Test to the outside. Kane batters Test on the outside. Test hits Kane with the ring bell. JR wonders why that wasn't a DQ. Test beats Kane down in the corner. Test hits a suplex for a 2 count. They trade blows. Test hits a back elbow for a 2 count. Kane beats Test in the corner. Test misses a flying elbow drop when Kane moves. Kane hits a neck breaker. Kane hits a big boot and a side suplex for a 2 count. Kane with a side slam for another 2 count. Test runs Kane into the ring post, and then Test hits the big boot for a 2 count. Kane hits a choke slam for a close 2 count. Kane hits a power slam. He misses a top rope clothesline when Test moves. Test with a pump handle slam for a 2 count. This is a good match. Test hits the flying elbow drop for another close 2 count. Test goes out and grabs a chair. Kane drop kicks the chair into Test. Kane goes to use the chair, but referee Nick Patrick grabs it. Kane shoves Patrick down. Test hits the big boot and gets the pin. Kane grabs Patrick and chokeslams him a couple of times. He then goes to leave and then comes back and power bombs Patrick. Coach tries to talk to Steve Austin. Austin tells Deborah to say no to Coach. Austin then runs down his opponents and Vince McMahon through the door. It was a pretty funny segment. Stacy Keibler shows Matt Hardy her outfit, and he says she looks good. Lingerie match, Stacy Keibler versus Tori Wilson. Flashback to what led up to the match. We are all winners in this match. I would not kick either out of bed for eating crackers. This is a slap and kick each other time. They trade moves. Keibler pulls out a cat of nine tails and whips Wilson and referee Jack Doan. Wilson with a takedown. They trade 2 counts. Keibler with a modified head scissors. Wilson with a snapmare. Wilson with a modified handspring back elbow to get the pin. Michael Cole talks to Kurt Angle. He says he's got his eye on Steve Austin and RVD. Vince McMahon comes by to wish Angle luck. Angle says he doesn't need luck. Lillian Garcia interviews Christian. He says he's always been an afterthought, and he's going to prove that he's just plain better. Ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, Christian versus Edge. Flashback to what led up to the match. Christian out first. Referee Mike Chioda puts the belt on the apparatus and it raises up. Edge with a massive ovation when he comes out. They meet on the ramp and start brawling. Edge throws Christian in. He hits a backdrop. He batters Christian all over the ring. Christian knocks Edge down and goes for a ladder. Edge kicks the ladder into Christian. They battle out into the crowd and slam each other. Christian backdrop to ringside. Edge runs Christian into the ladder. Christian sets the ladder up on the ring steps and drops Edge on them. They get on the ladder and Christian drops between the rungs. Edge throws Christian in. Edge goes to put the ladder in, but Christian drops down on the ladder to guillotine Edge. Christian brings the ladder in. He starts to climb, but Edge turns the ladder over and the two trade blows. Edge driven into the corner. Christian goes to hit the trapped Edge with the chair, but Edge hits an elbow and snapmares Christian into the ladder. Edge then throws Christian on the ladder. Christian catapults Edge into the ladder. Christian brings another ladder into the ring. He sets it up, both ladders up, and they fight on the ladders. They both fall off. Edge struggles to try to get up a ladder. Christian reverse DDTs Edge off the ladder. Christian goes and gets 2 chairs. He puts a chair under Edge, who responds by putting a chair in Christian's face. Edge grabs another and brings it into the ring. He props the ladder between 2 chairs, puts Christian on it, and then splashes Christian. Edge starts to climb. Christian takes the ladder and knocks Edge off the ladder. Christian climbs the ladder, but Edge spears him off the ladder. They both climb the ladder and fight. The ladder tips over and they both spill to the outside as a holy shit chant goes out. Christian crawls back into the ring. He starts to climb the ladder, but Edge hits him with a chair. It's a low blow. Edge sets Christian across 2 ladders. Edge sets the chairs up and hits the concerto on Christian. Edge then grabs the championship to become the new Intercontinental Champion. Spike Dudley is shown at WWF New York. He tells JR and Paul since he was taken out by his brothers, he's healing and looking forward to Tajiri and the Big Show taking them out. WWF Tag Team Championship match. The Dudley Boys Devon and Bubba Ray versus the Big Show and Tajiri. The Dudleys hesitant to get in the ring. Tajiri and Bubba start. Bubba gets Tajiri down. Tajiri comes back with strikes. Double clothesline by the Dudleys. Devon tagged in. Tajiri gets a press for a 2 count. Big Show tagged in. He squashes Devon in the corner. The Dudleys double team Big Show. He slams both. They roll out and Tajiri cannonballs on them over the top rope. Tajiri tagged in and kicked Devon. Bubba tagged in and Bubba bombs Tajiri. Devon tagged in and Tajiri beat down in the corner. Double flapjack by the Dudleys as Bubba tagged in and beat Tajiri on the mat. He gets a 2 count. Devon comes in and gets Tajiri down with a rear headlock. He hits a back elbow. Tajiri tries to tag Big Show. Big Show tagged in, but the Dudleys distracted the referee so he couldn't see it and hit the what's up while he was getting Big Show out. Tajiri gets a DDT out of a powerbomb attempt by Bubba. Devon and Big Show tagged in. Big Show cleans house. Devon clips Big Show's knee as he was going to chokeslam Bubba. Tajiri with the blind tag. The Dudleys attack Tajiri. He gets the tarantula on Devon, but gets attacked by Bubba. Tajiri sprays the mist, but it hits the referee. Big Show chokeslams Bubba, but the referee can't count. Rhino comes out and gores Big Show. Tajiri hits an enziguri on Devon and follows it up with the buzzsaw kick for a 2 count. The Dudleys hit the 3D to get the pin. William Regal then congratulates Rhino in the back. We get the Don't Try This at Home ad. Test. Booker T and Shane McMahon are shown in the back. Shane tells Booker that he has to take out The Undertaker. Booker says he's going to do it. Booker T versus The Undertaker. Booker out first. Undertaker with a tremendous reaction when Roland hits, and he comes out on his motorcycle. Booker comes out and attacks Undertaker. He runs him into a barricade. Back and forth. Undertaker with a clothesline. He hits a knee lift. The bell rings and they are in. Undertaker gets a 2 count. Booker with a kick. Booker beats Undertaker down in the corner. He hits a shoulder to the midsection. Undertaker comes back and throws Booker into the corner. Undertaker works on Booker's arm. He gets a short arm scissors on. Booker comes back. Undertaker goes back to the armbar. Booker gets to the ropes. Undertaker does old school. He gets a 2 count. Booker rolls out to regroup. Undertaker follows him out and Booker runs him into the ring steps. Booker keeps up the attack on the outside. Booker goes to hit Undertaker with the ring bell, but referee Tim White takes it away, and Undertaker throws Booker over the barricade. Undertaker follows and attacks Booker. Booker thrown back to ringside. Booker runs Undertaker into a ring post. He throws Undertaker back in. Booker hits a missile dropkick for a 2 count. Back and forth. Booker with a heel kick for a 2 count. Booker with a side slam for a 2 count. Undertaker comes back and goes for a tombstone. Booker pushes off and hits a neck breaker for a 2 count. Booker goes for a double axe handle and Undertaker gets his boot up. They trade shots. Booker gets a spinning heel kick. Undertaker with a corner clothesline. He follows it up with another clothesline for a 2 count. Booker with snake eyes and another spinning heel kick. Booker hits the spinneroonie. Booker hits the scissors kick, but Undertaker gets his foot on the rope. Booker beats Undertaker down in the corner. The Undertaker fights out and hits the last ride to get the pin. Chris Jericho is shown in the back. He tells Coach it's time to put up or shut the hell up. Flashback to what led to the next match. WCW World Heavyweight Championship match. The Rock versus Chris Jericho. Jericho out first and gets a great ovation. The Rock with a bigger ovation when he comes out. The belt is presented. The bell rings and they circle each other. They lock up and vie for position. They trade hammerlocks. Jericho with a shoulder block. Rock with a side headlock. They trade moves. Jericho works on Rock's arm. Rock comes back with a back elbow. Jericho chokes Rock on the second rope. Rock hits Jericho with some short right hands. They each go for a signature move, but both block the other. It goes outside and Jericho beats Rock down. Back in, Jericho with a shoulder block for a 2 count. They trade blows again. Jericho chops Rock in the corner. Rock reverses and chops Jericho. Jericho fights back and hits a backbreaker. They trade 2 counts. They each get big pops on moves. Jericho with a slam. He goes up top, but Rock crotches Jericho on the top rope. Rock hits a superplex. A double count is going. Both men are up at 9 and exchanging shots. Rock with a Samoan drop for a 2 count. The Rock with a shot that knocks Jericho to the outside. Rock runs Jericho into the announce table. He throws Jericho back in and beats Jericho down. Rock gets a 2 count. Rock with a suplex for another 2 count. Jericho thrown back outside. The Rock throws him back in and gets another 2 count. Rock with a reverse chinlock. Referee Charles Robinson checks the arm, but it doesn't go down 3 times. Jericho gets up, but Rock throws him into a turnbuckle and then gets a clothesline. Rock puts Jericho on the top rope. Jericho pushes Rock off and hits a missile drop kick. A double count is going. They get up and trade blows. Jericho with a swinging neck breaker, Jericho with a knee lift, Jericho hits a rock bottom, and that brings the crowd to life. Jericho with a lion salt for a 2 count. Jericho gets a bulldog. He misses a people's elbow attempt. The Rock gets a sharpshooter on. Jericho gets to the ropes. There's a mixed reaction from the crowd. Rock goes out and starts to take the Spanish announce table apart. He rock bottoms Jericho onto the table. Rock breaks the count. He throws Jericho back in the ring. Jericho fights a rock bottom attempt, but Rock hits a spine buster and goes for the people's elbow. Jericho grabs Rock's leg and does the walls of Jericho. He gets it on. Jericho pulls Rock away from the ropes. Stephanie McMahon comes down and throws a chair into the ring. Jericho goes over to her and the distraction lets Rock hit a DDT. Rock throws Stephanie in and hits a rock bottom on her. Jericho hits a skull-crushing finale to the Rock and on the chair and gets the pin to become the new WCW champion. Rock grabs the chair and confronts the celebrating Jericho. He hands Jericho the chair and leaves the ring. Jericho continues the celebration. Vince McMahon's dressing room is shown. Flashback to what led up to the main event. Triple threat match for the WWF Championship. Steve Austin versus Kurt Angle versus Rob Van Dam. Angle out first to a tremendous ovation. RVD out next, and he also gets a great reaction. Austin out last and also gets a good reaction because people don't want to boo Austin. Austin comes over and says something to RVD. The bell rings and Angle attacks both Austin and RVD with German suplexes. Austin and RVD team up to kick Angle out of the ring. They keep him out of the ring. Angle attacks RVD. Austin stomps Angle. He then stomps RVD. Austin is taking turns on both. Angle puts the ankle lock on Austin but gets drop kicked by RVD. RVD hits Austin with some kicks. He hits Austin with a savate kick and a press for a 2 count. Austin hits RVD with a spine buster for a 2 count. Austin attacks RVD's leg. He puts on a single leg crab, but Angle breaks it up. Austin throws Angle out and puts the STF on RVD. Angle throws Austin out. Austin catapults Angle into a ring post. Austin drives RVD's leg repeatedly into the ring post. Angle and Austin trade blows. RVD with a cannonball onto both men, and now all three are down. RVD with a leg drop to Austin. Angle throws RVD and hits a moonsault. Austin covers Angle for a 2 count. Angle with a sleeper on Austin. They trade moves and both knock down with double clotheslines. RVD goes for the frog splash, but Angle and Austin both move. Angle gets a 2 count from a bridge, but Austin breaks it up and hits Angle with a stunner. RVD breaks up the cover. RVD hits a split leg moonsault. Angle gets the angle slam, but Austin breaks it up. Austin and Angle fight to the outside. They beat each other by the announce table. Austin backdrop on the announce table. RVD hits a flying forearm on Angle. Vince McMahon comes to ringside. Angle chops RVD. He chops RVD inside. RVD hits a reverse heel kick on Angle. Angle hits a top rope belly-to-belly suplex on RVD. Austin gets in and hits the stunner on Angle, and Angle falls to the outside. Austin tells RVD to get up. McMahon hits Austin with a chair. RVD hits a 5-star frog splash. Angle breaks up the count. Angle hits RVD with a series of suplexes. He hits the Angle slam. Shane comes in and throws Angle out. He runs Angle into the ring post. Vince attacks Shane. Austin hits another stunner and pins RVD. Vince can't believe it. Austin leaves with the title. Vince looks on as they sign off from St. Louis. Final thoughts. The last 2 matches weren't bad, but the invasion angle is running on fumes at this point. You can follow me on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram at TheJoeyHarris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcast, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. We can also be found on Spotify and YouTube. Just search for the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.